Hello and welcome to Kashmir University's weekly video digest Quest. First, a look at the highlights. Kazakhstan Ambassador interacts with university faculty. And we have a profile on Biotechnology department. Now the details with your host Musa Hayat. The Center of Central Asian Studies organized an interaction session with the Ambassador of Kazakhstan in India, Mr. Bulat Saransabayev. The interaction session was held in the CCAS hall. Director CCAS Professor G.N. Khaki, while presenting the welcome address, gave an overview of the research conducted by the Center on Central Asia, especially on Kazakhstan.
Center of Central Asian Studies was established in our university back in 1978 with the sole aim to ensure interconnectedness between the two grand regions of the world, to rediscover the multidimensional shades and to rediscover the hidden treasures of these two grand regions with special reference to the history, culture, religion, and many other aspects of the life that had been in vogue in the two regions from times immemorial. The things that we feel that both of the regions have similarities by virtue of the topography, by virtue of the cultures and all other things that have been altogether similar to the Valley of Kashmir. That we have found most of the photographs of Astana, and we find that after seeing these photographs, someone feels that as if we are in Kashmir itself.
Kazakhstan Ambassador to India, Mr. Bulat Saransabayev, in his lecture highlighted the age-old historical and cultural relations between Kashmir and Kazakhstan.
Historically, the south and southeast of Kazakhstan is very much connected to Kashmir, because in the history many times some people used to come here, some merchants used to come here. We have an evidence that the Kazakh merchants brought here about 40,000 horses. That's why this is just an example that interactions happened even in the ancient time. Ordinary people moved doing some business at that time or some cultural exchange, some came for pilgrimage or whatever, but there were different movements from different parts of Central Asia.
Kazakh ambassador hoped that he will be able to build relations between Kashmir University and the University of Kazakhstan in higher education.
We could conduct some scientific practical conferences, to organize some maybe studies for the students, for Kazakh and Kashmir students, to prepare some papers on some different subjects. Always universities, they are centers of everything. So the best people, the best heads, minds, they are in the universities. That's why I believe that they will move further the relations.
After that, Kazakh ambassador interacted with scholars, various heads and faculty of the university. The Department of Biotechnology was established in the year 2000 to contribute to the fascinating and emerging area of biological sciences. It has a postgraduate academic program and research programs. The Department of Biotechnology offers MSc Biotechnology program for only 15 students, and every year 15 meritorious students qualify and form a creamy layer of the society.
We are trying to maintain the quality education. We don't want to kind of go beyond 15. Simultaneously we have to provide them the research facility also. So we don't want it should be so crowded that they won't learn and they won't kind of undo the quality research as well as it. So keeping in view, we are not basically making the number more than 15.
Since its inception, it has become one of the top research institutes of India, owing to a very high standard of research and teaching. Both the faculty and research scholars have excellent records of publication in journals with high impact factors.
Recently, my group has published PLOS ONE. PLOS ONE is one of the big journals in the world. So students are really doing good. I mean, they have kind of come up with a kind of that research attitude and all that. Now, and apart from that, they feel like we have a competition with the students in GNU or Delhi University, or for that matter, students who are abroad. So we are doing a good job.
We have a couple of journals like PLOS ONE. We have molecular biosystems. We have pharmacological reports, and these days we're also preparing another manuscript to send it to a good journal that's known as the Chemical Communications. That is a much more reputed journal. We have started publishing our research with 2.5, but now we have 2 or 3 papers which have 4.5 and 5, and hopefully we will in near future we will target journals which have impact factor of more than 5.
The research program of the department bases itself on investigating most modern and relevant fields of biotechnology, leading to the award of MPhil and PhD degrees.
I started working on the lung cancer. To begin with, I started working on the proteins which are upregulated in the lung cancer and which may serve as a sort of biomarkers for the diagnosis or prognosis of lung cancer. I found that this protein is secreted from the lung cancer cells and it acts upon the immune cells. So these cells, rather than say if we take an immune cell, it should as such kill the tumor cell. It is supposed to kill a tumor cell because the defender of God has provided as a defender of an organism, of a human being. But it is so clever that it corrupts this immune cell. So rather than killing the tumor cell, it helps this tumor cell to grow, to proliferate and to metastasize to a different organ, say to a brain, to the bone. So I am working on the protein, say one of the protein secreted from the lung cancer cell. It then binds to immune cell and then alters its phenotype. In turn, this immune cell becomes the tumor helping rather than the tumor killing.
I'm working under Dr. Khurshid Iqbal Andrabi. We work on cell biology and signal transduction. And we particularly focus on a protein in the cell which is found in all cells, mTOR, and its downstream effector P70. These two proteins, they are involved in controlling cell cycle and cell progression. Why it is relevant to the research or to the general masses is because regulation of cell cycle is important for many diseases like cancer, diabetes, aging. So we are trying to find out the proper regulation so that which will help to design drugs that can control metabolic diseases like diabetes, aging, and also cancer.
Individual investigators of the department have been instrumental in creating high-quality research facility and productivity through extramural support generated from various funding agencies.
Right now, my lab is having the national consortium or Saffron project, which is being given to us as well as JNU, Jawaharlal Nehru University, and Central University of Guwahati, and also University of Jammu. So we are the partners. Like it's basically we are trying to decipher the pathways of saffron cells. There, it's a huge project for 5 years.
The Department of Biotechnology has a number of projects on hand. These projects help the department to sustain and bring latest lab equipment.
Department in general, we are having 25 projects, and every faculty member is having a couple of projects, like 4 or 5. And so far as my lab is concerned, my group is concerned, we have 10 projects funded by Department of Biotechnology, Government of India, Department of Science and Technology, Government of India, ICMR, Government of India, CSIR, Government of India, National Municipal Plant Board, and all that. Though we don't get any support from state government, or for that matter university, whatever we have, whatever resources we have generated, it's just from the different funding agencies. It's a self-sufficient department. Though the teaching program is basically funded by Department of Biotechnology, Government of India, because it has been established by them. But so far as research is concerned, it's all we have raised money from different funding agencies, and we have established a good infrastructure for it.
The department imparts quality education and provides excellent research environment through its programs.
We take students from all the kind of sciences like zoology, botany, chemistry. So whoever wants to join us, they can. I mean, it's open. Like biotechnology is a research-based department where any student from any science subject can kind of join us. It's a kind of a biosciences kind of a program.
Since science research is a costly affair, the department takes care of its scholars by facilitating for them fellowships, which helps them to bring quality work to the fore.
That was my first and foremost target, to make my scholars financially independent. Okay, and so that I think they let them not be burdened on their parents. Okay, and all of my scholars they are getting money from these projects. Okay, as a research fellows, and they're getting good amount like 25,000 to 28,000 rupees per month.
We start writing a grant, we start writing a project, and then send it to the national funding agencies. Regarding the DBT project, it is around 80-85 lakh. DST project is around 50-55 lakh. So this is how we generate first the money. In that money, we have three sections. One is the equipment grant. You can see all the equipments in our lab. These are purchased from the equipment grant. Then we have the consumable grant, in which we buy the reagents, the antibodies, the other reagents necessary for our research. And then we have the fellowship grant, in which the person who is working on the project, he gets the required amount of fellowship.
Personally, we don't have to chip in any money. So the onus of the money, it lies on the government. And that is why, for example, I should have completed my PhD by now. But because it takes time to get the supplies delivered, because government delays funding, so that is a problem. Otherwise, the cost of research, it does not lie on me.
The head of the department, Professor Rais Qadri, who was early working in the National Institute of Immunology, New Delhi, feels that his department is at par with world standards and scholars of biotechnology can compete with any scholar of the world.
National Institute of Immunology is a kind of a pioneer institute. It has given me kind of an inspiration, and I always wanted to basically have a similar kind of an lab in this department. Our department is as good as you will find in any other department, science departments in JNU for that matter. Trust me, we have established a good infrastructure in the department. And trust me, every individual, like talk about our worthy Vice Chancellor, he has really worked hard for this department. For that matter, other faculty members, they have really given 100% to this department. And it's basically their effort, it's a teamwork which has actually made this department.
The biotechnology department imparts quality training and sound academic program for students and researchers, making them competent, motivated researchers and scientists. The department has 10 faculty members chosen from diverse streams and specializations, and all of them have studied and worked in international universities.
Faculty is well trained. I mean, I have a faculty from Harvard Medical School, I have faculty from John Hopkins, I have faculty from Tufts, and with a kind of a diversified kind of expertise. And they actually came here and established their research work, and they are doing really quality research work over here.
The department has developed extensive research facility and infrastructure to support the ongoing teaching and research initiatives.
I have done even my master's from this department. I joined this department in 2008-2009. And you can gauge that fact from the observation that most of the students from this department have qualified prestigious examinations like NET, JRF, DBT, JRF, ICMR, JRF, and even they have qualified the prestigious other exams like GATE as well as GRE, which is an exam to apply for a PhD studentship outside India.
Faculty is very good, they are very experienced, and they are very understanding. I have been a MSc student of this department, and I have been very satisfied with the faculty and all the facilities. All our concepts and all our understanding of science and all our passion for science, it is because of our faculty.
Presently, the focus of the research in this department is on cancer, and they are collaborating with SCIMS to understand the main causes behind such a widespread of this disease.
We are trying to kind of find out the kind of a reason why cancer is so prevalent to this part of world. Apart from that, we are trying to give the message to the kind of the society that these are the kind of chemicals, carcinogens, which has been more used to this in the society, and due to that, we are kind of getting these kind of different types of the cancers. My group is actually involved in cancer immunology. We are trying to look at the microenvironment of the cancer cells, and simultaneously we are trying to find out what are the kind of molecules which actually come out from the cancer cell and kind of are responsible for the metastasis and all that.
The department is also equipped with sophisticated instruments such as high-speed refrigerated centrifuges, UV spectrophotometers, and many other things that are needed for modern research.
Our department, I can say, is at par with all the research facilities in India and even abroad, because we have complete genomics platform, we have complete proteomics profile, we have animal cell culture. I can rate it as 8 out of 10, because certain things which we like a complete animal center facility, that we like. Otherwise, the department is at par with any other research facility in the India or in any country abroad.
I won't say that our department is at par with the world laboratories, but if you want to go into research and you are looking for a good biochemistry, biotechnology lab, then our lab is very good. It is at par with all the reputed institutes in India.
We are trying to convert this department in a small institute, so that most of the people who are working in different countries like USA or UK or different, and who are doing good, we are trying to kind of attract them to this part of work.
With this, we come to the end of today's program. In case you have missed some part of Quest, log on to our website ammrckashmir.com, where you can watch it. Send us your suggestions at our email address quest@ammrckashmir.com. Before I take your leave, here are a few words of wisdom. If we knew what it was we were doing, it would not be called research.